And we move down now to our second last A final of the day, the lightweight men's quadruple sculls.
Yeah, we're going to run through. There is the young Swiss squad. 3 of them took the gold medal in the under-23s. And the stroke man we're looking at, Pascal Riese, just 20 years of age. On the outside lane, but why couldn't it be their day? We've seen stranger things happen. The Italians, more experienced, Andrea Micheletti in the stroke seat, 26 years of age. Was in the lightweight men's double sculls in the Rio Olympics, so we've got bags of experience. Next to the Italians, this British quad, Pete Chambers. One behind the stroke man, the young Gavin Horsburgh from Edinburgh University. Thank you, Colin Williamson, the excellent coach of Edinburgh University, for your comments and your fantastic coaching program. The French, Stanley Deliere, we talked about him, the 29-year-old Frenchman in the stroke seat. The Greeks, Eferos Konsolos, 28 years of age. He's on the right of your picture. And there is this Japanese quad. The experience furthest away from you of Hideki Omoto in 33 years of age from the Rio Olympics in the bow seat, but stroked by Kazuki Nara, 25 years of age.
And they're away, and the Japanese, a great start. We were very impressed with their performance in the semi-finals. And a real interest and resurgence in this event, the lightweight men's quadruple sculls, with the men's double scull for lightweights being the only Olympic class. So a lot of interest in the sculling categories for the lightweights, and some fantastic racing that we've seen. But it is in the middle of the course, the British and the French out to the fastest start.
Well, we saw it yesterday, this French crew with Stanley Deliere in the stroke seat. They got away well, and then they just held their nerve, and they just had a relentless rhythm, and other people attacked them, the Italians attacked them, but when it really came, they were able to step it on, and they've gone out for it. And we see the British crew here as well. Again yesterday, they just settled into their rhythm, held their position, then turned it on when it came to the last 20 strokes or so.
It's a great combination in the stern. Pete Chambers, all that experience, the Olympic silver medalist in lightweight men's fours, and Gavin Horsburgh, the young junior world champion, the Scot who took that medal on the Lago de Freitas in Rio in 2015.
We see the Italians. Interesting how they're going to play this one tactically, because yesterday they really went for it in the middle and looked like they might overhaul the French, but when the French responded, the Italians were left with nothing and came through in that second qualifying position.
I just wonder, what's that going to do for your tactics once you've been rode through in the semi? You're going to give it another go in the final, the same sort of tactics?
Well, who knows what sort of conversation they've had about how they get this boat down the course, but these are fast conditions. There's not too much room to do an awful lot. It's a bit of a drag race in the first 500, and it is the French, the form crew really, who are up there in the lead.
Yeah, and one of the things we talk about in these faster moving boats is, you know, if you do get the lead early on, it's very difficult to catch you. The speed of the race is such that it's difficult to be overhauled.
Yeah, and also the addition of that light little tail breeze that's following them down the course. Any lead that you get makes it really hard to get back onto terms with. You're not able to move as quickly and have that same turn of speed. So in the tailwind conditions, you don't want to be letting anyone get away from you.
Yeah, we're seeing tidy blade work here from the British crew. I was interested in the Greeks, who looked like they were on charge, and up at 39 strokes a minute, they were the fastest crew on the course. And I think they're going to be looking to move themselves right up and into it, as we see there, taking the lead, the Greeks.
That's a big move from the Greeks. The French had about a canvas over the rest of the field, and that was a really decisive move that came from the Greeks, as you say, up at 39 strokes a minute, looking to get themselves tactically into the race with this move that we haven't seen from them.
Yeah, well, a couple of those Greeks were in the boat that took the world's best time in the title in Amsterdam in 2014. They're just 2 seconds off it when they went through the first quarter. Who knows, with this tailwind getting quicker, that the world record might be under threat, but that's a decisive move, you're right, that the Greeks have made.
But this is exactly what I was expecting to see from the French crew, to just hold their nerve and let the race go on around them a little bit. The Greeks have gone for it very early. They put that stroke rate up, coming to 1,000. They were up at 39 strokes a minute. The French having to hold their nerve, see if they're going to be able to respond, see if they can just keep that calmness and composure and blade work working together through the middle.
As we run down through the French crew, there's a real story on this man just coming into the picture. Stanley Deliere had a horrific injury in 2013, a collision with the French four. Just really ripped his back apart, and he did so well to get back into the sport again after that injury in 2014. And with his partner, Jeremy Azou, they took the title in Henley that year. Magnificent win over the British double of Collins and Walton. But Stanley Delier is a real tough cookie. So there's the Greeks and the 28-year-old strokeman, Efkeros Konsolas, so experienced with his brother in this event.
So 7:50 out, we're coming into this final sprinting time when they're going to have to pick the pace up. The Greeks have made their move. Will the British now be able to respond to it? I think they're looking now to go onto the charge and see if they can come back.
I think that's a really clever move by the Greeks. They would have seen the racing that happened in the semi-finals and known that that was going to be the place that they could have a chance. You know, to leave it to the second 1,000 becomes really risky in a field like this.
Yeah, and it strikes me these three quads are all out for a gold medal. There's no quarter asked for or given here. You know, whatever the results, they all think they can win this gold medal. And really the race is unfolding. The French, I think, are the class crew, but the British are sculling out of their skins. You know, let's give a mention to Ed Fisher in the bows, Zach Lee Green, Pete Chambers and Gavin Horsburgh we've spoken of, but they're sculling well just behind the Greeks.
Really tough one to call this. I'm wondering whether the French are actually going to be able to do what they did yesterday, pick up the pace when it really matters and come back at the two crews that are now just starting to creep away from them. They could be leaving it too late.
And look at the movement over in lane 6. The Japanese, they're getting themselves up alongside the Italians. They're the big movers here. Japan up at 39 strokes a minute. Italy stepping to 43 strokes per minute. The French have to get themselves in it if they want to be part of it.
For me, it's the British, though, who've taken this on. They responded to the Greeks. The Greeks went early. The British have still got something in the bank. They're still only down at 38. They can still step on. I'm interested in the French, whether they can really come up from their 38 and still come through to win this one.
Well, you know, they had the fastest last quarter in the semis, 1:27, a second quicker than anyone, but that's a handy lead of 2/3 of a length the British have got. I think they're going to be tough to catch.
Well, it's now half a boat length. They're well into the red boys, probably 20 strokes to go now.
Italy up on 46 strokes per minute, but they look short. I don't think that they're making any impact with that increase in rate.
So I still think the French are going to put in a strong move here. There's only 10 strokes left, but they're coming back very quickly against the British. The British have got to hang on now.
Stanley Delier, the French strokeman, using all that determination. I think France can do this. There's still enough water left. Inches in it, you can see, ladies and gentlemen. Lane 3, Britain. Lane 4, France.
Can the British hold on? This one's neck and neck. It's like a horse race as they're coming into their line. And
French take it. British second, Greece third. Sorry, ladies and gentlemen, we're getting a bit overexcited here in the commentary team, but you can't blame us for that because it's been a hell of a morning. The French celebrate. Félicitations, les Françaises. Incroyable, incroyable dernière. 20 coupe, that's the last 20 strokes. He holds his head in the air, François Terron. The 24-year-old, the bowman, celebrates. Up he goes in the boat, Damien Piquera, the 26-year-old. Blade goes out. That's a famous image from our sport. We saw that with Niels Jakob Hoff in 2013 when he won in Chengdu, and there's a reprise of it right now.
And I think this British crew, there'll be massive disappointment. They put it on the line. They, as you said, Martin, no one was racing that for a silver medal. The Greeks were so brave. You can see the pain they put themselves in. They went for it early, and there was a time when they looked like they'd done enough and they had got out there, but then in that final sprint, it just came down to that power and that precision of the French.
Yeah, I didn't see that from unfolding from the Greeks today. The Italians were one of the crews that we were really looking at. They were up at 47 strokes a minute and not able to have an impact with 150 metres to go. So the Greeks, I think, put themselves into this race when they made that decisive move in the second.